Do I have a motion for the adoption of the Senate Committee substitute? All right, we have the motion pending and the adoption of the Senate Committee substitute. Senator Schaefer, why don't you explain to the committee what the Senate Committee substitute does?
Well, I think as we saw from the last hearing we had on this bill, I had a lot of concerns, I know, as did several other people on the committee, about several things with the initial version of the bill. The largest two issues, I think, we lumped them together, being number one, the level of discretion that was taken away from the Public Service Commission to make a determination based on what is in the consumer's best interest as far as what tools are available for financing future plants that would fall into the bill. And then number two, the other big issue was consumer protection in the sense of if the PSC were to determine that some level of construction work in progress was appropriate for a facility to be constructed, and that was actually reflected in rates, if that facility or that company who was doing that project was then to sell either the license that they had used money from ratepayers to develop, or in fact sold the facility itself before it was online and used and useful, that would be an unjust enrichment or a windfall to that utility. And what this substitute does is it bifurcates the process as far as developing the license first and then developing the plan and getting approval from the PSC to build a facility. It also puts more discretion in the PSC to make a determination of when those upfront costs are appropriate. And it addresses the major consumer issue of if the facility or the license were to be sold, and what this bill would require would be, if that were to happen, the very first thing right off the top, ratepayers would be paid back what they paid in either the license or for the facility. They would get interest on what they paid, and then the proceeds beyond that would be distributed by the Public Service Commission, much like any other used and useful asset, with distribution going to both the benefit of the ratepayers and to the company. And so I will tell you, I don't think this substitute is perfect. I think it addresses the baseline concerns that I know I had, and I think several others had. But I think that it goes a long way to moving this bill out of the committee to get it to the Senate so we can get it on the floor and we can have a broader debate on what is appropriate for the long-term public policy of energy needs and energy development in this state.
Okay, I want to clarify a couple things, Senator Schaefer, and then open up for questions. Number one, we have a bifurcated approach.
Yes.
Number one, they have to have a license at hand, is that correct?
Right, well, they go to the Public Service Commission, put on a case for why they should get funds to develop the license. And if the PSC agrees that's appropriate, they can get that. Once they get the license, then they have to come back with a plan of how they're going to build the facility. Again, the PSC would have to approve that.
Okay, and right now, the way that your substitute, we do not repeal CWIP.
No, we make it a tool in the toolbox of the Public Service Commission to make the determination if it's appropriate.
But only if it's in the best interest of the ratepayers.
That's exactly right. Because with all arguments on both sides, there clearly could be situations, and probably will be situations, where it is cheaper for ratepayers to pay upfront as opposed to waiting, especially for a longer-term project, and then pay the interest on the money borrowed at the end. Yes.
Just for the committee's knowledge, essentially what is unfolded here is, as we all heard, part of the argument behind why they need CWIP is the ability, as they are working on the federal loan guarantees, as they're working through this process, they believe this is a tool they need in the toolbox. What we have done is we've said that number one, if you secure the license, and then number two, the Public Service Commission deems to be in the best interest of the ratepayer, then they then have the ability to use that tool, but only at that point. And so, and Senator Schaefer can clarify, many of the changes in the Public Service Commission process, we have also altered that from the original bill as well. Specifically, we have not created the level of guarantees the original bill had in place. Is that correct?
That's right, and it's more of a bifurcated process in that there was somewhat of bifurcation in the original bill with both pre-construction costs, which were really kind of license development costs, and then the facility costs of building it. Those were separated somewhat in the original bill, but it would allow any entity who wanted to go after it to consolidate both those proceedings together and do them all at once, and they're separated out of this bill.
Senator Griesheimer has an amendment. You move for the adoption?
I move the adoption amendment. Basically, what this does is it takes the Public Service Commission language out of it. It basically keeps part of the bill, but I'm not comfortable with some of and Senator Sager, you worked hard on this. Some of this I'm okay with, some of it I'm not. In an effort to move the bill forward, I would be much more comfortable voting on it without a lot of the Public Service Commission language that's in there. So what I would like to do is to strike the sections out of there and then vote. I'll vote if it comes out, I'll vote to vote the bill out of committee.
Any other discussion on the amendment? Okay, seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say no.
No.
Noes appear to have it. The noes do have it.
We spent a lot of time with this bill, and part of it was, I think people were dismayed when about the whole, if you want to use CWIP, just delete the CWIP statute and delete the CWIP statute, and then you don't have a problem. This bill, again, changes, there's different words here, but it's basically the same process of what were the objections to the original bill. It is a different, convoluted, restricted process that changes just for these circumstances. I think this is it's basically what we heard first time around, and I just think that's not what we need to be doing. We need to keep our good procedures that we have with the PSC and let them take care of our regulation of utilities in Missouri as they have for so long, so successfully. And I don't think we need to go distorting it for just special circumstances, and that's what this bill does.
Any other discussion? Seeing none, call the roll.
Senator Walker.
Aye.
Schaefer.
Aye.
Arnold.
Aye.
Gray.
No.
Dempsey.
Aye.
Green.
Yes.
Griesheimer.
Aye.
Justice.
No.
Lemon.
No.
Ridgway. No.
We are voting 6-4. Bills been passed.